Hello and welcome to your daily astrology and tarot horoscope brought to you by Nicholas the Hollywood Gypsy. This is for Monday, October 27 of 2014, and the planet of the day is the moon, and the moon is all about intuition and your emotion and aligning with those energies. And the part of the way you're going to have to align with your moon energy today is just by the fact that there's this wonderful Venus trine to Neptune, and so you're just going to have to be passive and receptive. What I think we're going to be experiencing is this intuitive. If it's headed east, this is the page of water in the Zen Osho tarot deck, and as you can see, this bird is behind illusionary bars, and it can actually fly free. And to me, this is just the symbolism of really understanding your own true nature, who you really are, and being able to give that and share that with others. And that's what we're coming into. We're going to get some insights to this, but it's very important that we're passive and that we're meditative and that we find time to meditate on a day like this, because it's very powerful lunar and very powerful water energy. The signifying card of the week is the Devil. I didn't pull that on the weekly video. I had just forgot, and I apologize. So I pulled it afterward, and unfortunately, what an interesting week. First of all, there's like three kind of what I call a negative days. So it's a very bumpy, rocky week. We're just kind of getting used to the scorpionic energy, which can be hard. And the lesson of this new, as the sun has gone into Scorpio, we've had the new moon very early, like 0 degrees of Scorpio, and it was a solar eclipse. And I did blind my eyes a little bit looking at that solar eclipse. It was awesome. But long story short is this is the beginning points of a new transition for ourselves for the next 6 months. I do astrology reading on this. It's an $85 reading that I do in terms of how you can align with this extremely transformative energy. Solar eclipse energy lasts for the next 6 months until the next solar eclipse. So right now, being in the early degrees of Scorpio, we're connecting with something intuitive. We're connecting with something that's not superficial, not flyby. This is something deep and rooted inside of us that we're unrooting, and it's a brand new thing. We're going to have to come to it from a beginner's mind. And so this very first week, I believe giving the Devil card, what we need to learn is how we're giving our power away to something that's not serving us. How are we being chained to something that's not helpful to us? And how are we in that power struggle with others where we're probably keeping them or holding them back? And that's what this week's lesson is all about. The Devil's not, it looks super negative, but, this is some weird love triangle where you have two people in love and they're imprisoned by something else. What is it that's keeping you from your heart connection? That's another way to think about what the Devil card represents this week. And as I said, this is a great Monday starting day. Allow yourself to be intuitive. Venus will be trining Neptune directly at 11:48 a.m. and Venus is in Scorpio and Neptune is in Pisces, so it's a very, very intuitive, very, very psychic energy. Might be a good day to get a tarot reading from somebody if you guys do that. Might be a good day to practice your astrology or any divinity, your runes. Go on a hike in nature and find a wonderful place to meditate. Monday is a very, very meditative day, and you're going to be getting this information of how you connect with others. At least that's what the card of the day represents. This is our emotions. So we're going to have some growth emotionally today. That when I pull the Zen Osho tarot decks, that represents our emotions. This is the long-term lesson for the entire week, which I think is very powerful to give a signifying card for the entire week, because we're so good at dealing with the day-to-day minutiae in our lives, and I really think divination and tarot cards is very powerful for letting us have that bird's eye view of our lives, helping us be more objective and kind of think of the themes that we're supposed to be focusing. We're really supposed to be focusing on our power and what's holding us back from our love this week, and from the love of what we should be doing. And so when I do the Wild Unknown deck, I call this the advice card for the day. So this is what we need to take advice on. And we have the Nine of Cups. This looks like a balsamic moon. When I see the darkened from that angle, it's kind of like the ending waning of a moon before it goes new. And so this is kind of a releasing time. The advice is to, once again, it's lunar. Intuitive. It's lunar. This is balanced water. I think this is very auspicious. Everything's balanced, everything's tranquil, and everything's just smooth, running right. So today the advice is really allow yourself to relax at some time. Really allow yourself to meditate so you can get this powerful insight of what this understanding card is all about. What is this insight that you're getting to? This insight to me is that we're figuring out how we connect to the greater whole and how we can join into them in the way we want to join in. And this is a very good advice to take, is just remember to be tranquil, remember to be more passive and let things happen. This is not a time to initiate and go for it and be gusto. It's a time to just be passive. And of course, we always have to do things in the course of our day, but the general attitude and the general mode, if you have an option between stepping back or pushing forward, today's option is to kind of step back and let things happen for themselves, because things are floating by very tranquil and very beautiful, and the cup is filling up with very auspicious emotions, very kind and generous emotions. So that's a wonderful card. This is a great way to start the week, especially a week that's going to have a few bumps in it. So, this is definitely a learning week. We're definitely learning about our own power, where we have to really connect with ourselves and not be enslaved. That's what I really think about the Devil card. The other thing I want to say is that the Sun is really close. Really, when it comes to this Monday, Venus is exactly trining. As I look at the chart here, Venus is exactly trining Neptune, because Neptune's at 4 degrees of Pisces, and Venus is in the water sign of Scorpio, which is deep, dark, mysterious. I don't think Venus likes to be in Scorpio because it's the opposite sign. I can't remember if it's the detriment or if it's in its fall. I think it may be in its detriment because, Scorpio is kind of dark and transformative, and Venus isn't trying to go in this dark, murky area. She wants to be beautiful. She wants to be seen. She wants to be out. And Scorpio waters run really deep. So what you can get out of it is a deep, intense lover, really transformative sex, really transformative spiritual practicing. Those types of things come from a Venus and Scorpio kind of transit like this. And then when you're connecting to Neptune like that, somebody born with this is going to be really psychic, and they're really going to have psychic areas, insights in their life. And it's going to be the type of psychic where I feel I'm very intuitive. I don't really feel at this point I'm psychic, or at least I don't allow myself to be. I feel intuitive in the sense that I always use the cards and I use astrology to help guide my intuition, and I get tremendous results from that. But when I read somebody's cards, it's kind of like reading music. I see the trends, I see the cycles, I know the story, and the story unfolds before my eyes, and I tell it to them, but I can't tell if that's right or wrong, because these messages are given to me from synchronicity, and I have to take their word for it on how they feel about the message, because I'm not psychically seeing it. I'm intuitively reading the story as it's played out like a piece of music for me, and understanding all the symbols and synthesizing them. So, but somebody with a Venus trine Neptune, definitely very psychic and can channel. And the thing about this is the Sun is pretty much conjunct at 4 degrees of Scorpio anyway. So the Sun, how this person shine, how people are going to be shining today is through their intuitive spiritual nature. It's a very spiritual Monday, and I can't stress that enough. It's going to be a very gentle start to the week. Other than that, the Monday transits are going to include a moon sextile to Mercury at 4:10 a.m. So most of us will be asleep at Pacific Daylight Time, or I think it's going to be is it Pacific Standard Time or Daylight Time? Oh no, this weekend will be the clocks will change, so it's still Daylight Time. The moon will trine Jupiter. So to me, the moon is in Sagittarius and Jupiter's in Leo, so the moon will trine Jupiter at 9:18 a.m. This gives our emotions a big confidence booster, a big bump, and then that's when Venus at 11:48 a.m. Venus will be exact with Neptune. If you can take lunch at 12 o'clock Pacific Daylight Time, you can give yourself 15 minutes to take a walk in nature, or just get outside of the office or wherever you're working, the restaurant, whatever, and just look at a flower, just Instagram something pretty, take a picture. Those are the types of things to really connect with nature that you could hopefully do, because it's going to be a spiritual time. If you can find a place to just take 3 deep breaths and really just relax around noon, it'll be very powerful as Venus goes and trines Neptune. Well, that is it for the Monday reading. This is from Monday, October 27 of 2014, and my name's Nicholas, the Hollywood Gypsy. I am really happy to have some products for my astrology practice on my site. I charge $65 for a natal reading. I'm just, throwing the price out there just so people know. I don't think I'll be increasing a price until July of next year, but if you look at other astrologers, their natal readings are much higher than that. And the way I approach my readings is I do a complete write-up of what I see in the personality, a write-up of what I see in the love and interpersonal relationships, and a write-up of what I see in your job, business, money, and career. So those three areas of life I look at. And I do a long, 700 to 1,200 word, something like that, like write-up on this. And then I email it to you. And then you're allowed to, understand what I'm about, what my reading is going to be about, what I see, and then you can ask any questions about your natal chart as I call and we do a consultation. So that's kind of how I approach it. I don't record the consultation, but I think the written record is good, and then you can take any notes you have on your questions. And so that's kind of how I approach it. I want you to have something tangible at the end of our experience, so through the year you can refer to it, and then if we ever do a transits reading, you'll kind of have some insights to the astrology of what I saw in the chart. So anyway, have an excellent, excellent Monday.